Shit. Wait, I pressed go live. Hold on. Oh man, should we just go?
Yes, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go live, bro. It was an accident.
You know what's funny, yeah? Everybody, yeah, has been rating how smooth the last 2 weeks have been.
Yeah, I know. See, this is why I went and got us a producer, bro.
1 week without the producer, and the podcast starts off with shit. I didn't mean for us to go live. when we're actually like 4 or 5 minutes late.
It's all right, man. It's better than 15 minutes, isn't it?
Look at this guy.
What's going on, Damon?
What's happening? Tired, fam. Tired.
Yes, I'll be honest. I don't know why this week I'm just knackered, bro. Stressed, knackered, absolutely knackered, and I can't imagine what it's like for you with a newborn. But
you know what? I honestly think, yeah, that the weather plays a big part. Fam, look at me. I just look all disheveled.
You do, yeah. When you've got the baggy neckline, baggy neckline, bro. Yeah, no, I feel you, bro.
See this neckline, yeah. This is what Caselo Victor hangs onto for fun, bro. He just dragged it down, bro. Like, just no respect to my name, bro.
No respect.
Yeah, but yeah, work one.
Who am I supposed to be sending his link to? What's going on? I'm confused.
I sent you the number to send.
Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened again? You never correct me. I sent the link to you and not the group.
Well, why would I? No, you did send it to the group.
I didn't. I sent it to you. Sorry, Femi. He's gonna think we're trying to edge him out of the thing, fam.
There you go.
What's going on though? Yeah, it's just been one of them weeks, man. How is Caselo?
He's good. He hadn't pooed for 2 days, yeah.
Oh man.
Now, from what I know, babies of that age, if they haven't pooed for a couple of days, it's not like a super serious thing. It's just uncomfortable, but it's not super serious. Do you know what I mean? Like one of my friends, they've got a daughter maybe like 5 weeks older than Caselo Victor, and their daughter didn't poo for 10 days.
10 days?
10 days.
How did they get it out?
I think it would naturally just come out. Like with extremes, you can, you know, like I don't think the hospital or the doctors were worried until it went over 10 days. But obviously you've got things like suppositories that you can put up that will just release everything immediately.
Can we just apologize to anybody eating their dinner right now? But we're going to continue talking about poo if that's okay. Do you want to finish what you had to say? Because I want to say something about poo.
Well, the thing is, yeah, it's breast milk, isn't it? So it's not actually
breast milk.
All right, bro.
Lee, what's that from? Breast milk.
No, it's not. That's not. It's nigga.
Nah. If you're a real comedic genius, yeah, think about it. Breast milk.
It's not. It's nigga.
No, man. Do you remember that episode of Chappelle Show when he's doing the Real World and he makes them go and get Cambodian breast milk?
No.
And he's drinking the breast milk. He's being puffed out. Forget it. And then go on, Damon, go on. Anyway, can I talk about poo now?
What?
Can I talk about poo now?
I hadn't actually finished with
you. Okay, right. Yeah, go on.
You want to talk about poo so much? Go ahead.
So I'm on the CMOS hype.
Yeah, we do CMOS here.
I'm there. I've been on CMOS for about 6 weeks now. 2 like heat tablespoons every day. And it's making man move regular, like good regular though.
You mean it makes a thing hard like planting, innit?
No, not talking about that. I'm talking about bowel movements, and you're talking about my thing being hard like planting.
What do I eat? Banana makes your bowels good, though, no?
Nah, This is like I've noticed that
Planting.
it's the good poo-poo, like the good poo-poo that just comes out, not in bits, not in chunks, just comes out solid, bang. And I can only put it down to CMOS. Oh, Femi's here, by the way. You guys don't want to talk about. No one don't want to talk about that now.
No, I mean, what do you want us to say? Do you want us to challenge you and disagree?
Are you not? I want all of Cut the Chat to be on the CMOS thing.
Brethren,
I'm on it already.
How old are you, Ace?
Ace, do you understand that CMOS? Lee was talking about CMOS before you started talking about CMOS.
Time ago.
Okay,
Come on.
I just started today. What? So am I not allowed to talk about it because Lee's spoken about it before?
No, let's talk about CMOS, bro.
What are you trying to say, fam?
You know what? I had it for a while. You know, it's a funny taste, isn't it?
Yeah,
it does taste butters.
Was it good? Did it have good positive effects on you?
Do you know what? I think so. I went through a phase where I was having it in every single day, actually, in my smoothies and my juices. It was like, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? People that love CMOS love CMOS. I think it's all right. The taste is intense, bro. Someone
told me that this is good for you, Lee. If you mix CMOS with white rum, it's an all-night flex, fam.
To be fair, no, but the CMOS has improved libido for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'm on it every morning.
I need to bring that back.
Like a Rasta man. On it.
Come on.
Like a man with 10 utes.
Yeah,
ready to ras. But yeah, that's what I found. But I honestly, the taste is a bit rap. Obviously, I've got used to it, but it is. I mean, I have it with green tea.
It's a bit bare.
That's a bit disgusting taste, isn't it? It's like full on.
Yeah.
I have it raw, bareback.
You just drink, you just eat it, Ace.
I just eat it, 2 teaspoons.
Is it? Do you know what? I've never had this yet, but I can imagine it to taste like sperm.
Can we talk about Lee coming back and doing a comedy show?
Yes!
He's practicing new material on us today.
No.
So, for those that don't know, Lee, Little Man Vassell, will be hitting the stage again, doing what we know he is the best at doing.
Born to do.
He will be hitting that comedy stage once more. This ain't a one-off, is it? Is this the return?
No, it's a one-off, blood.
Ain't a one-off, bro.
Lee, should we do this? Lee, I will, pay for you to do a one-man show.
That's pressure. Look at him. He's
I will actually pay for my own money.
What's that theatre behind Piccadilly Circus?
Not that one. Not like that. Not them levels. Like I'm saying, like we'll find.
No, it's little. Levels, it's small. You know? It's small.
Man can't afford a big theatre.
No, the small theatre that's by Lily White's.
I will sponsor. Listen, I will sponsor you to do a one-man show. Yeah. And all I want is like, if there's money made, I break even, and whatever profit is made is all yours.
Lee, I'll host it and DJ. I'll do it for free.
This is live to YouTube. Wow.
I love the way you're like guessing up this thing, man. I just said I'll doing the show. I'm gonna do a show one off.
Can we ask you comedy secrets?
Go on then.
Are you gonna do new material or like?
Of course, I can't do no old material. I have no old material.
You can. I would do bare old jokes. If it was me, I'd go in the archives, boy. I'll go back to 2004. Like, yeah, that used to bang. That was used to bang. I was be getting all my old shit.
You know why? Because after 5 minutes, I get me too'd off the stage.
So what you're saying is jokes that you used to say back in the day you can't say now?
I think there's a few jokes that I said back in the day I couldn't get away with saying now.
Really?
If I'm honest. I think a majority of my set I couldn't get away with saying.
Did you see the Chris Rock Breakfast Club interview?
No, I
haven't seen it.
So what he was saying was that like because of like Me Too and cancel culture, I shouldn't say Me Too, because of cancel culture, it's made comedy less funny because people are just playing it safe. No one is like pushing the boundaries or saying things that could possibly offend or whatever, and that's why comedy is not as funny as it used to be.
No, I totally agree, man. I think that reason why I got into comedy is because I saw it and I was excited by it, and this is how I feel a bit now. That's why I'm not overexcited, because I'm not really excited about it. I'm not dying to go watch comedy shows, which I should be, because I just think I haven't seen anything of recent that's made me think, there's an angle here. We could jump on this. Do you get what I mean? That's how I honestly feel about it. I just feel like the comedy don't excite me.
Maybe your angle, yeah, should just be
Go
I
on.
want to get cancelled. I would find that so
Maybe.
funny. No, Damon,
Maybe.
imagine like the comedian came on stage, yeah, and said everything to get them. And the thing is, you know, they're saying it to get cancelled, so you can't really take it seriously. You can just laugh.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
that should be your
Maybe, you got a
angle.
point.
Like,
You
I'm
got
going
a
to
point
get
there.
cancelled today.
You should do a live show called I'm about to get cancelled.
Nah,
Before I
that's
get
too long.
cancelled. Before I get cancelled.
That's too long. Nah, just call it cancel me.
Cancel me. And just
Yeah.
say everything. Come
That's
out and
the
speak
name of
about
your show.
all of the religious groups that you know you can't mess with. Chat about everybody. Talk about colorism. Go in. Do whatever you want to say. And then just be like, yeah, and you're saying it's one and done. If you're saying it's one and done, then you should do that.
They should do that and just never
Go
work.
out with a bang.
Just never work again.
But you man might never to work again by the time I'm done. So I'm gonna keep all you man's names. All you man's names coming down with me.
Ace is
These
the
man
only
told
one
me
that
to
has
do
a
it.
proper job. Ace is the only one that has a proper job. None of us have a proper job here.
For now.
Man said for now. That's scary, Ace. Don't say that. For now, it's not good.
It is the first time we've started a show, all four of us, in a long time.
Yes.
A very long time.
Innit? We ain't done this for time. It feels a bit weird. Usually I'm waiting for someone to
You know
jump
what? I want us to go back into the barbershop once a month.
Do you know what?
Man.
I don't see why we have we can all go out. I don't know why
why are we still doing
linked
this?
up to do
need,
in the barbershop.
all the other podcasts are doing like legit nice looking shows now. I'm kind of jealous. I think we need to stop doing Zoom.
What are you saying next week?
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after.
Damon's got commitments. So we can't.
I've got commitment issues.
Damon's got commitments. We can't just make plans for him. You know.
But I think we need to do, even if we come to yours, Ace, even like for
come true, man.
Like a quick daytime thing.
Aces can work. Like I can bring Caselo Victor with me. It's local.
Come true, man.
Aces one can work. Can we crack on with the topics? Because we've got a few good things that we need to talk about today.
Go for it.
Let's start with something fun. Lee, how old are you?
36.
Ace, how old are you?
40.
Have you had a finger up your bum yet?
No. Haven't, you know.
Bruv, prostate cancer has overtaken breast cancer. It's the #1 cancer in the country.
Wow.
This is heartwarming, this topic.
I thought you said it was some fun. What was that?
It needs to be spoken about. Let's
what are signs? What are the signs of this though?
Femi, you're the Google man.
No. You're the one that has had the hand up your bum, bro. You need to tell them.
Man said a hand. No,
man said the hand, you know.
Bro, whatever.
Damon, you had a prostate exam.
Yeah, years ago.
You spoke about it.
And I need to go and get another one, but we are all now of the age where we should be getting it done.
Come round, I'll do it for you.
More, huh?
What? I'm your vision.
So what are you?
Tell me what I need to feel.
What are you feeling for, bro? What do you think that you're going to be feeling for? What? How do you know if he's?
I would think I'd have to feel for some sort of lumps. Maybe like bumps.
What about doo-doo? Doo-doo's got lumps. If you feel doo-doo,
I'll push that aside, innit?
Anyway.
Yeah,
well, it's very serious, guys. It's very serious.
Like,
yeah, for real. Wait, for real.
Like honestly, like it's the #1 cancer in the probably this like we need to get this exam. And from what I remember, and it wasn't that long ago, it took maybe about 10 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
10 seconds. That's all it took.
Yeah, bro. It's not a long procedure at all. All right, look, I've just Googled it, yeah.
Why are you Googling it when you went through it? We want to know exactly what happened.
On direct.
We want to know what happens.
Lee said the symptoms.
Oh, okay, go on.
Right. Needing to go toilet more frequently and often during the night. Needing to rush to the toilet, difficulty in starting to go toilet, straining and taking a long time while going to the toilet, a weaker flow than normal, feeling that your bladder hasn't emptied fully, and blood in your urine and blood in your semen. Those are some of the symptoms of prostate cancer to look out for. But, you know, just like all cancers, the sooner you get checked, the sooner you know, if you're unfortunate enough to have a cancer, the sooner they see it, the better, the more chance you have at survival. Do you know what I mean? And this is something that is so quick, it's so simple. Do you know what I mean? That could actually add years to your life. There's no way the number should be this high. It's ridiculous.
As somebody that's gone through that examination, the truth is, men don't want that examination, even though we have to have it. But as somebody that's had it, like, what is it like?
All right, honestly,
obviously, like the nightmare scenarios, man, am I thinking, like, or like up to the knuckle, or what is it? What actually happened?
All right, first things first, let's address probably the most common issue that we will probably hear amongst our friends and family when talking about this is the whole, oh, a man violating me. First and foremost, take that out of the equation. Take your sexuality out of the equation. It's got nothing to do with it. Do you understand? It's got absolutely nothing to do with this exam whatsoever. Yes, a qualified doctor puts his finger up your bum. He's feeling for your prostate gland. Yeah, that's what he's feeling for, and he knows exactly where it is. So he's not pushing his finger up and, you know, trying to find the exit off Spaghetti Junction or nothing like that. He knows exactly where it is. So it's not, you know, it's not a kind of like, oh, move over to the left, move over. No. It's a very, very, very simple thing. And for me, being the type of person that I am, I found more humor in leading up to it than fear or worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, there were so many kind of cliches that were happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, the doctor would say, like, oh, go behind there, pull your trousers down, whatever else. Or, you know, there's so many things that in my head was like, this is actually a laughable moment more than me being worried. Do you know what I mean? The reason it took me so long to go is because I just don't go to the doctor anyway, which isn't a good thing. Like, before I got my prostate checked, I think I hadn't been to the doctor for maybe about 8-9 years.
Wow.
And that's a bad thing, but that's me and how I.
What made you go and get yours checked anyway?
Probably Aisha, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Because you see like you man now, or even people that are listening to this podcast, they've heard me say, I ain't been to the doctors for like 8-9 years. There's probably people in the comments that are like, nah, D, that's not good. Even you, man, would be like, nah, D, that's not good. But I'm not going to see you, man, for like another week. Do you know what I mean? I see Ash every day. I chat to Ash every day, so she's going to be on me every day. And there's only so many excuses that you can give for why I haven't booked an appointment for the doctors. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't because I'm scared or anything. I honestly think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've woken up with aches and pains. I've just walked it off.
Damon, for the benefit of the people that are listening through the podcast platforms, people have messaged to say it's a blood test now. And
Can I just say that? Can I just say one thing? I was literally just sitting here thinking, it's 2021. We've got self-driving cars. I can download a 3-hour movie in 4 seconds. Like, why can't they just scan me and tell me if I've got like, why can't they the doctor just come up with his phone and just go, nah, you're blessed. Like, why
are you telling me that Damon got fingered for no reason? Oh my days. Nightmare, brother.
No, Lee.
That is amazing.
Brother. It's like about 4 years ago.
But Matt, you still got fingered.
But
it's a blood test now, for real.
No, but this is the thing. This actually makes it even worse, because if your fear was that, then there shouldn't be that fear anymore. So this number should be going down.
Remember a couple of years ago when I told you I had piles? Do you remember this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor, and the doctor had to like tell me to lay on my front and put the glove on. And I don't know if what was he trying to do? I don't know what he was trying to do, to be fair. I think with piles, sometimes if it's coming out, he was feeling for the pile, and then they try and push it back in sometimes. It depended on how bad it really was. And I remember, do you remember when I told you I couldn't ease up? I just couldn't ease up. It wasn't easy for me. Like he was saying, relax. And he just let me go. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're a doctor and you're really trying to do this thing, you shouldn't just let me go. Like you got a job to do, you know?
Relax. Why did you relax?
Ace, I couldn't relax.
You can't say, you want him to force you. Like, that's just
no, I don't want to force, but I wanted him to kind of like, he just gave up straight away. When he realized that I was tense, he was like, you need to relax. And I was like, I can't ease up. He just was like, all right, cool, fine. Took the glove off, that shit in the bin.
What do you want him to do, though? What do you want him to do if he doesn't?
If he kissed me right there, I would have folded. I think I would have folded. Right there. Oh,
I know, we have to be serious.
All right. I don't know what he would have done. I don't know what he would have done, but I just felt like he gave up easy, and say it was serious, because it was just like, all right, cool. Get this cream, rub it on it, and see how it goes. Do you get what I mean?
Lee,
can someone write down 25, please?
Who?
What?
5.
Huh?
Say that again.
Fine, go on.
Lee, to be fair to the doctor, yeah, imagine if he tried to force the situation and made it worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're in a position to possibly take man to court and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know what? But I felt that he felt awkward. I felt like, I didn't feel like he was that reassuring. He was a young doctor, and I felt like it almost like maybe I intimidated him, because he wasn't like, I felt like I don't know. Do you get what I mean when I'm saying this? Like, he didn't really like try after that. It's like he just didn't care. All right, cool. If you don't want me to do it, fine, whatever. Rah. Boom. And I was like, right, all right. So that's all I had to say is no. So if I said no, he would have been like, but he didn't say, oh, well, it's important that this X, Y, and maybe if he broke it down step by step, maybe I would have eased up. But it was uncomfortable for me, man. I just couldn't do it.
Well, unfortunately, the situation that you had isn't a blood testing anymore. Or now, that's still a physical situation. Do you know what I mean? But it's something that, I was watching a program earlier today, and it's the fear that this guy had for needles, and obviously fear is irrational, isn't it? Like, you got people that are scared of pigeons. I'm scared of spiders. It's irrational. And it is what it is. But I think it hopefully it gets to the point where, as an adult, we look and say, boy, my fear of the doctors, or my fear of having a finger up my bum, or whatever it is nowhere near the worst case scenario, which is possibly having cancer, possibly having a life-changing, situation that could have been avoided. And I think we need to tell all of the men in our family, all of our friends, like, go get it done, bro. And the worst thing as well, it's free. Like, it's free. How can somebody be offering you a free procedure to extend your life? Like, and the thing is, prostate cancer is ridiculously high within Black men. Ridiculously high. It's a free thing, but man will happily, quickly. Do you know what's funny? Do you know I would like to see this stat, and we're probably never gonna see this stat, but I would like to see the stat of the amount of men that actually take themselves to the sexual health clinic, as opposed to the amount of men that would take themselves to go and get their prostate checked. It'd be mad. It will actually be mad, and that's ridiculous.
Have you heard of that body M.O.T you can pay like £100 for?
Yeah.
You know what? I'd
Does
love
that-
to do one of them. You know, I'll be honest.
Doesn't that tell you if you've got any sort of problems in your body?
I don't know what it consists
I
of.
think what you're talking about, it must be a broad church, if you get what I mean. It must be like a generic sort of thing.
Oh, is that what it is?
What is
Yeah?
the body MOT?
It's like you can just go and get M.O.T. You could basically go and get tested privately
For everything.
to see if you're
Everything. From
I'll
head
tell
to
you what-
toe, they
tell you
can
what's
scan
wrong.
your body and tell you
What's wrong with
X,
you?
Y, and Z.
I've been meaning to book one of those. To
To be
honest.
fair, I'm feeling that idea as well. You know,
What are you
so I
saying,
think-
Lee? Should we all go and do it?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Maybe we will contact a company. They might do it if all of us want to do it as a pod.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
We can get it as influencers.
I remember
Yeah,
one
I don't
time-
know. I don't know how good that will be. Like, obviously, if you like find out that you've got chlamydia or something and you've had it.
Did they tell you that you're broken? Imagine they told you you're broken.
We said
Yeah,
we was
nah.
gonna do a pod from the clinic once, and we never did it.
Man said
clinic?
broken. What do you
What
mean
clinic?
broken?
We said we was all gonna go and get sexual health tests together.
I got no reason to be up in there though.
No, this was years ago. This was
Yeah, I
years.
swear one of your brethren.
This is years ago. This is years ago. This is like when
One
we
of your
did,
brethren
when we did
was
YouTube shows,
is
and we said
occupied.
who?
One of my brothers, what?
Is occupied at one of those places.
Yeah, she used to work there. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I got a friend actually she still works in sexual health, yeah, and she knows a lot of people from
Should we
coming
get
through.
a run?
I could do, you know, I could give her a shout.
Not
Yeah,
now,
I
but
could-
like on one.
no,
of
yeah,
our
I, yeah, I'll get her to, but she can't disclose certain information
No,
innit,
but
about
obviously
people.
we're not asking her to start talking about man them. We're just asking her to like, you know, just to get a sense of what that type of job is like.
Yeah.
There's
I'll
nothing
speak
worse.
to her.
There was nothing worse than being ace and going to the clinic. Oh, I hated it. I fucking hated it, man. Not because I'm famous or anything, just because I know there's
Hey, you're
like
famous,
no,
cuz.
I'm not
Nah,
famous.
no,
but
hey.
what I'm saying is, there's likely to be somebody, or like not
No.
even likely. There's
Hey.
a chance that somebody there is gonna know who I am
Hey,
and what I do.
you know
and
what's mad? Do you know what's mad, Ace? Yeah. I know you don't like to think this, yeah, but you're famous, bro. You've been on radio, yeah,
famous.
every single day
I'm
for
not
like how many years?
I'm not famous, but because of that reason, I hated it. I hated going to the clinic.
Ace, you top up your fame every
Ace.
day.
Ace, you're famous. Do you know how much people message me and tell me that they saw you walking in the West End?
Walking in the West End.
How much
obviously
man
you
phoned me and told me
probably-
that they saw you on the bus?
I haven't been on a. I don't remember the last time I've been on a bus. Tube. though.
Obviously,
Yeah,
you
think-
work
do you-
in the West End, Ace. Where people tell me they see you walking in the West End, I tell them to run upon you.
They'll get shanked, you know.
Ace, do you
Alright.
think you feel a type of way getting on the bus?
No, I'd have got no reason to get on a bus.
No, but if you had to, would you feel a type of way? Be honest.
No.
Would you rather walk?
No, I get tube and train every day.
No, tube and trains. Celebrities get tube and train all the time. I see John Barnes on the tube, and I was like,
What's
right,
wrong-
should he be on the tube?
So you think the bus is more shameful than the train?
I don't know. I think the train is something that you can't.
Nah.
Look, Rihanna got on a
You
train
know
to
what's
her own
mad?
concert.
The buses
Rihanna
are more
got a train
shameful.
to her own concert.
Should I
Yeah,
tell
but
you?
that was hype. The
That
buses
was
are more
publicity.
No,
shameful.
but it was actually
The
the
bus-
quickest way for her to get there.
The bus is more volatile. The bus is just a volatile
Damon, Can I
situation.
add
Go
to
on.
that quickly? I'll let you finish, yeah, because you've got the best point about buses, yeah. And I'll tell you that, yeah, there was a period of time I lived in Edmonton, right? So I moved from Holloway to Edmonton, and I did not have a car, right, for about maybe 2 or 3 months. I was 18. I just moved out of home, right? And I moved to this yard. And these times now, listen, my brethrens would get to Holloway. I'll go raving with my brethrens, yeah? I was trying to do this bus thing, yeah? Go raving with my brethrens, get to Holloway 99p stores on Seven Sisters Road in Holloway, right? My brethrens will all get off because they live in Holloway still, go to their houses, and I'll be there waiting for the N279, yeah? And I'll get this N279. And after about 2 or 3 times catching this N279, I knew that at Bruce Grove, anything could happen.
Yep. Yeah.
Every single day, every single night.
Real talk. That's like
No.
the 253 going to Hackney from Clapton. Same thing.
Like,
From
bro,
Clapton, it's peak.
anything could happen. Like, and I've seen someone get robbed there. I've seen people get beat up. I've seen like people like, you know, that are not in their right mind getting on a bus, like literally. And you know what? When I lived in that area in that time, I realized, yeah, that I couldn't do the bus thing, because actually on the train was mainly people that were going to work or had somewhere to be. On the bus was anyone. Were people bumping the bus? Were like people sleeping on the bus? Were like anything happened on the bus? It's volatile. It's potentially scary.
It's a mad thing still. It's a mad thing. Yeah, to add to what Femi's saying, I remember from Clapton to Mare Street, boy, I had to hold my breath. And sit next to the driver, because I was thinking anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's madness. So yeah, I hear that. And that's why I say the bus thing is a different game.
Yeah,
I'd rather walk.
I'd rather walk on a bus. Everyone's seen at least one piece of fuckery on the bus before.
No, like my cousin, yeah, got robbed on a bus, yeah. This is when he lived in Edmonton as well. And he was on a bus. He's trying to work on his laptop. He's one of them. My cousin's like a proper buffin. Like he's got this technical job at like one of the biggest companies in the world, yeah. Trying to work on his laptop, yeah. And the guy tried to rob him of his laptop at White Hart Lane, yeah. And he thought it was a Mr. Hero. The guy dragged the laptop. He basically pulled the laptop off him and fell. You know that top bit on the bus? My cousin tried to grab it off him and he dragged my cousin over the barrier down the stairs. But my cousin, obviously, he's like, I'm not letting go of my laptop. You know them boffins that are on it? Like, he's like, I've got work to finish. The guy just gave up. My cousin wouldn't let go. He fell off the bus.
Crazy.
I'll tell you a story. 253 Clapton. I knew it was peak. I heard it was 2-3 in the morning. I heard a couple men coming up. I'm not going to say what accents they had, but they were familiar to mine. And they went upstairs. They started taking the cameras out of the front of the bus. I just saw like they were workmen. You know, when you sit on the back seat, yeah, there used to be a lever. Switch that lever out the window, hand dropped it to the floor, and kept it moving. That's all I'm saying.
Did you hurt yourself? Did you hurt yourself?
No, bro, the adrenaline wouldn't allow me to hurt myself. Are you mad? I had to save my life.
Did you have a bag on?
What do you mean? I had the Walkman.
Yeah.
I had the Walkman attached to my trouser there. The Walkman with a cassette in it.
Yeah.
I was off. That wasn't leaving me. I wasn't losing that.
You hand dropped off the back of the bus.
I had a Heartless Crew tape in. I hand dropped. I opened up the thing, hand dropped it. Bang.
I will say this, yeah. When I got older and I had to get on a bus, to avoid seeing F-rees, I used to sit downstairs. I used to sit downstairs. I ain't got time for it. I'm just going to sit downstairs.
I used to sit downstairs in the back, downstairs. Yeah, no, you were a bad boy for sitting downstairs at the top in the back. No, I was downstairs.
I'm with the aunties, fam. I'm with the aunties. And that's the warmest part of the bus as well, because that's where the engine is.
That's where the engine is in the winter.
It is warm in there. Do you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not. I ain't got time to be upstairs in the land of no one's there to see you, to help you. Nah, it's long.
Bro, you're on your own, bro. I don't know why I was stupid, bro. I used to always go upstairs, sit right at the back in the corner. Like, just naive, bro. Just silly with it. But you know what? If I got on the bus now, I'll be sitting with the aunties. 100%. I think that's what I'm sitting. I'm sitting near the door where the door opens. The bus is weird now. You can get on any direction. I don't know how it works. It's mad.
I don't even know the bus numbers. I don't know where anything goes anymore. I ain't been on a bus for so long. So I don't even know.
Do you know what?
Bus is what?
Did you ever use the bus to get home when you're driving?
What?
I remember one time I never knew the route home, so I just followed the bus.
What?
Never knew the route home, so I followed the bus.
You know, back in the day, man, if you didn't have an A to Z, you didn't know where you were going.
I don't know. All I knew, it was in West End, and I didn't know what way to go home. So I saw the 38. I said, that goes to Clapton. And from Clapton, I can maneuver. And I followed it all the way behind. Can you imagine? When it stopped, I stopped. Indicators on everything. Like I'm picking up passengers and then carried on going.
Imagine, that is the most foolish thing I've heard in my...
I'm telling you, bro. I know. I think I'm not the only one.
No, I get it. It sounds mad. You know what? It sounds mad now, yeah? It sounds mad now.
It makes sense.
But back in the day, Back in the day, yeah, I remember I used to like, I had a BlackBerry and that was like, I had a little map, and I would be holding it and looking at the thing. That was before they even had those stand things on the phones. And because I didn't even have a sat nav, I missed that phase.
Makes sense. All right,
Remember, people used to rob sat navs out of your car. People used to try and rob them little, remember like them, who invented them stupid face off, like them systems that you get in your car. Remember them systems?
Yeah, and you have to pull out the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know David had a bag of them.
Man said they
David
were
had about
stupid.
4 of them in the whip.
They worked.
Them systems were lit. Them systems were lit. Well, now that you've
the
got
one you just pull out the whole thing.
No, the face. You just kick the face off. Put it in your top pocket. Gone.
No, but I remember my uncle.
The little case.
Used to move with my uncle used to move with the whole metal thing. He used to
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Pull out the whole thing.
The whole thing. Pull it
With the
out
handle.
like a sword. Yeah, and have the hand walk with it. Like what? It makes sense at the time though.
Can we appreciate the fact that smartphones have just changed the whole game?
How did we find anywhere before GPS?
Bro, you know what's
because no one used the A to Z.
You're not talking about the maps. You're not talking about A to Z, but I didn't know how to use it anyway because I couldn't work out my bearings on the A to Z. How would you even know where you were on the A to Z?
I would just be like, yeah, I'm going to Shubs in East, and then just drive to East, and then find my way to the, and just find my way to the Shubs.
These times you're thinking you're driving to East, you probably went through West, and then North Circular, come all the way around, the back of the A12 down.
Fam, I've done some. I used to do some meandering. Now that I know London properly, yeah, I used to do some meandering routes when I was young.
Mad.
I used one bridge. London Bridge was the only bridge I knew. I didn't know any other bridge. Anywhere I was going, if I was going Ealing, I'd take London Bridge. I didn't even need to go across the bridge. Anywhere I went, it was London Bridge. I didn't even know. Until I got the knowledge, I didn't even know about all these other bridges.
Hilarious.
Damon,
before we move on, before we move on, can we do our guest? So
yeah, let's do the guest because they need to go.
Yeah.
And we are taking up time. Let's do the guest. So last week we couldn't do our Black Business Corner because they were not available, but today we have them on the line. I'm excited to speak to this young lady. She has created this book. I don't know if you can see the title. Why Are They Crying? It's a book, a collection of words.
Can you see me? Turn the volume up.
Hello? Yeah, let's do the guest because they need to go. And we are taking up time.
Turn off YouTube.
Turn off YouTube.
Off. Couldn't do our Black Business Corner because they were not available.
Turn off YouTube.
Oh shit!
We have them on the line. I'm excited. Turn your volume down.
Mute yourself and then turn off YouTube.
There you go.
All right, so basically,
it's all good. Don't worry about it.
a collection of words, pictures, thoughts, and feelings on racism by our local, national, and international Black heroes and heroines. Alize, would you like to introduce your truly amazing daughter, please?
Hi guys, this is my daughter. She's 15 and she's written her first book, so she's going to talk to you guys about it. It's a little bit to do with race relations and her opinion as a 15-year-old. So go for it, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Nia. I'm 15. So our book is called Why They Crying. It's a book about racism, and inside the books there's like thoughts and feelings, and there's celebrities' views on racism as well. So it's to show that it's not just having class and money doesn't mean that you can't experience racism. So it's to help people understand more, and the questions that are inside of it, like why are they frustrated and why are we crying, is because like we're really tired, and it's just to help and educate people that may not understand.
Nia.
Yeah.
You've got bits from Idris Elba, Ashley Banjo, Miss Jamelia, Michelle Obama. Go on. Question for you. Why did you decide to write this book? What drove you to do this?
I just wrote this book because I think I can relate to all the questions that we've spoken about in the book. And it's to also help other races that may not understand what we go through and experience as a community. And it's to uplift the Black community. Obviously, I'm only 15, but it's like me being 15, I still feel like I should be able to have a voice, and that doesn't really also matter about your age. I can still write. I wanted to write a book in the first place, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to write about. But when the George Floyd situation happened, like, it made me upset, and it made me realize that racism was what I wanted to write about, as I've experienced it and as I've seen family experience it, and it just makes me upset. So yeah.
You know, a lot of people may want to write a book or have ideas about writing a book, but you've actually got, Damon's got the physical book in his hand there. Like, you've gone from it being an idea to actually being something. What was the process?
My dad dropped it to Uncle Damon. All of your books, I signed it as well.
Oh,
but Uncle Damon has all of them, so yeah. So
this one I've got in my hand, Ace, is actually yours.
Is that my one? Yeah, sick.
This is actually your one, signed by the young lady herself.
Hey, it's gonna be.
Thank you very much.
My question is, like, how do you go from the idea of having a book to it actually becoming a physical thing? What was the process in making the book?
So the publishing company,
it's
a Black-owned publishing company.
Zup.
Pardon?
No, I'm saying it's good that it's a Black-owned company.
My first book I've had, it was like I did peer mentoring with a 9-year-old. So in fact, I'm related to the people that own the publishing company.
Okay.
That's how also they know me as well. Right. But I said now I wanted to do my own book, and I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do it about. And then they said, we give you opportunity to write about racism, because I've been brought up in a Pan-African culture home, and because I'm quite experienced and know my history, and not a lot of Black kids know our history, I think that's another reason why I wanted to write it as well.
Sick.
No. You're 15. Did you feel that being brought up in the UK and in London, you have a different experience than anybody else in the world? So George Floyd, obviously that happened in America, and what I heard a lot was, we live in the UK, the police aren't as bad in the UK as in America, blah, 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 blah. Do you as a 15-year-old feel like there's a barrier between being Black and young Black American and young Black British, or do you think it's all the same?
I think in countries like England and America, because like throughout the world, we just live in a systematically racist society. But I feel like it's probably, you can see it more in America, but it also happens in England, but they just don't show it as much, like in terms of like police brutality. But yeah, in schools as well, in terms of like racism, I don't think it probably happens worse in America, because like, well, I live in Hackney. Most of the schools in Hackney are like multicultural, so that's most likely not going to happen. But like in America, or see if you have leaders like Donald Trump, or who's the president now, Joe Biden, those leaders, they're not really, they have like the old mentality of racism, meaning that it's not really going to change unless we have good leaders and we learn how to educate ourselves as well.
Wow.
Last one last question. We don't usually get 15-year-olds. We don't. I think you're probably the youngest person that's ever been on this show. So well done. And I don't think we'll ever have 15-year-olds again, because we talk about things that we don't really want you to hear. But I think this is a unique opportunity for us to know. Like, today marks the 1 year since the murder of George Floyd, and we don't necessarily get to hear how that situation affected young people. So like, what did that, and obviously like black people are being murdered all over the world, but that one situation was one that we all watched. How did that situation affect you? And were you talking about that with your friends, and what were they saying?
Yeah, I think that situation affected all black people as a whole. It triggered us to come together, like the Black Lives Matter movement. It triggered everyone to come together because we felt like, so for example, the cop that was on his neck, he looked into the camera while he was killing George Floyd, which showed that he had no sympathy or empathy. And he also had the camera on his the body cam. Obviously now he's gone to jail for murder, but for the amount of time that he was on his neck, which was 9 minutes and 25 seconds, it's like, how can someone not feel like any sort of remorse to murdering someone cold blood in front of a group of people? And I just felt like, obviously in England, it's not filmed that much, but in the book, there's celebrities that have come out and spoken about their experience with police brutality, like Ashley Waters, and him saying that how he's experienced it, or Rich Reed too, and how his dad has experienced it. And it's like, it's not that spoken about in the UK, but it does happen. And I think the George Floyd situation, it did upset all black people as a whole, because it's like, it's just showing us what happens every day. And then after that, there was the Breonna Taylor situation, and then many things just kept happening. And it's like, we speak, but we don't get heard that much. They can hear us, but they ignore us. And it's like, you gotta just show and do as many solutions as you can, so they can start to understand us and give us the equal rights that we deserve. Like, I don't think that we're asking for too much, if you get what I mean. Like, it's just
we just want to live.
General, for real, boy.
General human rights, and which we deserve is just equal rights, and that's literally all we're asking for. And it's just like, that's not what we're getting at the moment. And it's like, I'm just hoping that we could have advanced in a society from slavery, but we're in 2021 and we're still systematically oppressed, and we still don't really have a say. We're still not treated equally, and it's like, we're just tired. We're just tired. So that's what my book is mainly speaking about. And I speak about the George Floyd situation and how it made me feel, which was upset and just angry. I had a lot of questions and just curiosity, and if like also young children having to grow up seeing this as well, ages of 3, 4, 5, and going to Black Lives Matter protests and being confused on why they're not treated the same as their white friend, or why they can't do this because they're black. It's like, if they're not going to listen to us, we all just have to support each other. So yeah.
Wow, go on. This here is honestly, it's been a privilege to have you on. Like, you're inspirational beyond, what you know. So this is the book. Where can we get this book from? Femi's posted a couple links in the chat. Anywhere else we can get this book from?
We're gonna Dame, I'm gonna bring some to the shop, and they can go on the website as well. It's blackjackmedia.com.
And it's also at Waterstones.
Yeah, it's on Waterstones as well. Look, Femi.
Okay. Bring as many as you can to the shop, because they will move fast in the barber shop.
Yeah, and the ones in the shop, she gets all of the money from. So to be fair, we prefer her for people to support the ones in the shop. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
Brilliant.
sure it's blackjackmedia.com though? Because I've just gone on there and the website's not working.
1 minute, let me confirm.
.co.uk.
There you
go. .co.uk. And it's Blackjack with just a C, not a CK, right?
That's a C, yeah.
Okay.
So buy that, support the thing. Thank you so much
Support
for
the
joining
thing.
us.
This is amazing. Thank you very much for coming on. We know that it's past your bedtime. So yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, good luck with
Thank
everything
you.
that you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
Well done.
Bless up.
You're more than welcome.
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, so Femi, knowing that it's a year since that mad day, how are you feeling? Like, do you think
Oh, they've not left.
It's
Please
still
can't
here.
let them leave.
I'm out of it.
You just kick us out. We don't have to do it.
I don't have to leave.
You just kick us out. Oh, we
We need to
Yeah,
do like
Femi,
guest training
You
for
know,
our guests.
do you think black people move forward? Do you think the world's move forward? Do you
In
think,
terms
do you
of the
think,
world,
do you think,
in
do you
terms
think
of
the
like,
media and everybody else has moved forward? Because I think black people, we don't need to move forward, actually. We don't need to do anything. Really. You think everybody else has moved forward? Or,
you know what, yeah? I've been reading a lot about like, sort of like racial segregation in America. And obviously I'm not going to go into it, but I read this report and like the main takeaways were like, you can improve the experience of African Americans. Obviously we'll start there because it started there by, improving sort of the housing policy. That has meant that a lot of black people have lived in the poorest parts of town for literally hundreds of years. And also ownership of housing. And so rates of black home ownership in America in 2021 are lower than rates of white home ownership were in 1870.
What? Wild.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And so in terms of like, racial disparity in America, so it starts with the house you live in. And then obviously the school you go to is based on your catchment area. Then it affects your education. Then it affects what you're exposed to. So like for African Americans, obviously that's part and parcel of the type of racism that they experience. This is before we get to unconscious bias and all these other things. And obviously then you've got the policing, the way people are policed. And like, they're really trying to introduce, diversity policies within different police departments. And obviously we know that people have been killed daily, almost, black and white, since the death of George Floyd by police in America. Like, I was due to do a documentary about it with a broadcast, but I'm no longer able to do it. But like that's happened daily since, every single day since someone has been killed. And then you've got the diversity training that is being given at the moment. Like the diversity training that they're focusing on is something called ABLE, which is active bystandership law enforcement, which looks at, the police officer that is standing next to their colleague as they attack someone or they're using ridiculous amount.
So it's like that thing that they brought over here with the gangs and all of that.
I can't remember, but either way, the idea is there's a university called Georgetown University, and they're trying
joint enterprise or something. I think what it was.
No,
called.
It's not even like that. Yeah, but joint enterprise was slightly different. It was like, if you're caught near the scene of a crime or you're gang affiliated, you all go to jail. Every single one.
It's just making people around responsible and
no, but it's making that specifically the police officer around responsible, not everyone else. So it's like, and it's not even necessarily making them responsible. It's training them to be more alert. So it's not like they'll get prosecuted. It's like, you just need to, if you see your colleague doing something bad, you just don't turn a blind eye and like crack on. You know what I mean? And then also like there's a lot of child poverty in America. And so those are the three areas that, they feel that America's still lagging behind. Obviously the policing. And it's, the prosecution of Derek Chauvin is going to go a long way towards like, sort of making the police, putting fear in the police, and also at the same time making the black community feel like they're being protected in that way. The housing thing is still active, and it's going to take hundreds of years, I reckon, to get rid of that. Like, you know, to get rid of actual ghettos. Like, you know, in London, we say we live in hoods, but like a lot of us that grew up in hoods also grew up like next to £1 million houses. It's bizarre. So in England, the hoods are not completely segregated from that, the rich people houses. And then on top of that, you've got child poverty is massive in America. And so they're bringing in new child tax credit in America. They've never actually had sort of a child tax credit. In the UK, we've had that for years and years. All over the West, like they've had child tax credit in one form or the other for years, maybe even hundreds of years, right? Whereas in America, the Joe Biden administration is bringing that in, and like the aim of that is to cut child poverty, and specifically within the African American community, it will cut it by 2/3, like just the act of the government bringing in this benefit. And so like there's things are happening, like, you know, but only time will tell. Like, we can't say the world has changed a year on, but the only one thing that I would say has changed globally is that, you know, these conversations are being had a lot more. And a lot of black people that I speak to, a lot of black people are like, you know what, I'm more confident to talk about my blackness and to go into work and not have to put on a face. You know, I can openly be black for the first time. And I suppose in that way, George Floyd changed the world. It meant that black people could, in the West, be black and not have to pretend to be something else when they go to work. It meant that their blackness in the workplace is being looked upon as an asset. But whether it's changed like the way people completely look at black people, only time will tell. I think that's for 5 years time and 10 years time. But it's a shame that it took for a man to die for us to have the conversations that we've been able to have in the past year. And also, like, you know, it took for a man to die, for, like, you know, Ace and Shawnee B to win that award. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like sad that, you know, all the progress that has been made took for that horrific video to be shared online, which I still haven't watched. I don't think I could ever watch that. Like, you know, took for that horrific thing to happen for like the progress of the past year, which I would say, actually, I'd argue in terms of conversation, it's monumental. In terms of action, I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, I was thinking that, you know, we went on the march, and for a solid couple of months of last year, everybody seemed to be united, you know, in one direction, one movement, whether, you know, whatever it was called, you know, we all seemed to have come together, you know, on these marches, and everyone's attitude seemed to be going in the right direction. And, you know, it's not sustainable to be on these marches every single week. I get it. But I was worried that we would be in the situation that we're in now, where how many months down the line, you know, it's never going to be forgotten. It's not forgotten, but it's like, what are we still actively doing? You know, like footballers are taking a knee, and I've noticed even with that, you know, it started off, and this is from the commentary, it started off with, you know, Black Lives Matter to taking the knee, you know, to kick out racism. Now it's they're taking a knee to kick out any form of ism within the world. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, as time's gone on, it's just like, it's us, then it's us and that, then it's us, that and that, then it's us, that and that. Now it's just one. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's as you quite rightly said, the killings haven't stopped. The killings haven't stopped. Black people are still being lynched. A woman was lynched a couple of weeks ago. A guy was lynched a couple of weeks ago. That they're trying to say that it was suicide, and These things are still happening. The police officer killed a black man the other day. It's still happening, you know. And then when you sit down and you think, why have they not passed these laws that people are trying to, you know, force through in America? Like how can this be happening? How, and as you rightly said a couple of months ago on the podcast, how can you have a problem with black people saying you want to be treated equally? It doesn't make no sense. How can you argue that? How can you stand up in front of my face and listen? I'm not saying man wants pee. I'm not saying man wants the jewels back that certain people have stolen from Africa. I'm not saying that. You understand what I'm saying? Man just says, just treat us equally, and you have a problem with that. We still got a very, very, very long way to go. A very long way to go. Do you know what I mean?
Very long. It's funny that report that came out and said that there's no institutionalized racism in this country. And then we see videos of white girls just openly calling my man the N-word while he's doing his job. Do you know, in fact, even today, so today, One Extra did their 1 year after George Floyd anniversary, I should say, and I'm going to call it anniversary, but the murder of George Floyd show. I'm just reading some of the comments underneath tweets. This is wild, man. Like, do we live here? It's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. People are like, oh, there's no mention of him being a thug, a thief, threatening a pregnant woman. No mention of that. People saying, oh, after you're going to do a program about the murder of Lee Rigby by a black man. If not, then why not? If Black Lives really mattered, then they'd stop shooting each other.
That's the classic one.
It's mad.
That's the one that always comes up. That's the one that always
Tiny
comes up.
Temper put up. Tiny Temper said, how can we expect other people to respect us when we don't respect ourselves?
George Floyd was the ringleader of a violent home invasion. Like, all of these things to discredit this man, like him being killed on camera is fine. I don't know.
Bro.
So like, yeah, it's just difficult, man.
And the thing is,
these things go mad.
see all of those people that have made them comments. Make your comments, innit? You're well within your rights to make your comments. My problem, and I've always said that, is when it's people that look like me and my own people, that you just want to be different. You want to look like you're intelligent, and you want to come up with bullshit like, oh, how can people respect us when we don't respect ourselves? Like, bro, really?
BBC seemed to be intent on setting back race relations 50 years. You constantly dwell on the negatives rather than the positive and try to compare us with America. George Floyd was a career criminal that you are canonizing him. Lee Rigby was a law-abiding citizen who served his country, not a sausage.
Man, absolutely. See that, like, and that's the kind of stuff that makes me not want to talk about it anymore. But I suppose we have to. And that's
kind of why I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
But we have to.
I think the thing is, you can't be silenced, and you can't. Like, the thing is, until in some of the stuff that I've been reading, right, it says that white people are very uncomfortable with confronting race. White people are very uncomfortable with policy that is to the advantage. So, like, in America, the governments have thought about, why don't we bring in policy that benefits directly African Americans, that helps them? And most of the time they can't pass it because, like, the wider, you know, the Senate and so on and so on and the Congress are like, why would we do that? Because it's not to the benefit of the wider population. So a lot of the time you have to dilute conversations around blackness with class and poverty and all these other ideas. But you know what? I think it's about time that, you know, in a way, white people engage with race. Right? And so white people created the idea of race. We didn't. Black people didn't create race. Right? And then since then, it's been like rebranded as this black preoccupation. No, you guys care about race. You just pretend you don't. So it's about time you guys confront it. It's about time you guys have conversations about it and you're comfortable. And if anything, in the past year, that's in the past year, that should be one of the things that you come to the realization that, you know, it's really important to have these conversations and for people not to be silenced and for people not to be dismissed the minute they mention race or the minute the BBC gives a platform to a black man that was brutally murdered and broadcasted all around the world on social media and led to worldwide protests that featured black and white people, right? And the minute the BBC tried to commemorate that, like people come out of the woodwork trying to say, oh, this undermines Lee Rigby or this undermines this person. It's not one or the other. Like, you know, it's like you talk about Wayne Rooney and you say, oh my gosh, that undermines Alan Shearer.
It don't make sense. It don't make no sense.
It's stupid, but you know, going back to what you said to me about your the thing that you've done, Ace, with Shawnee B, and listening to that white woman who just broke it down. She was like, listen, them man, they scare me. You man scare me. But she didn't know why. And having more people like that just come out and be open and honest without fear of being ridiculed and mocked. Because when I sit down and these things happen and then, you know, you have a group of people that say, oh, let's sit down and talk. Let's talk about this. And my attitude is there's nothing to talk about. Stop killing us. It's not a conversation. Like, it's not a conversation. Stop killing us. But this part is a conversation. Like, what makes you feel a black guy that's taller than you or you know, wearing a certain type of thing? And the reality is it's media. It's what the media tell you. It's what the media portrays, what you're seeing that's being shoved down your throat every single day, you know. And it's not just one person or one organization. Like, it's not music. It's not just TV. It's not just the internet. It's not just, you know, is it Tommy Robinson or them man there that, you know, it's so many different things. But, you know, people like that you had on your show, Ace, we need more people like that to come out and have these honest conversations. Conversations.
See me though, do you know what it is? Like, I think sometimes when I hear us all talking about racism, I think like it's unrealistic to think that we're ever going to get rid of racism. I can't see it happening. But what I do want to happen is that if you're racist or you commit a racist act, then you gotta pay for it. That's it. So if you kill a black man, then you go jail. If you call a bouncer the N-word, then you lose your job and you get ripped on social. Like, I just want them to all pay for what they've done. That's all I really care about. You can be racist over there. Have your own thoughts and feelings. I don't care. Like, be racist. But just know that if you do something that's going to affect me or my people, then you're going to pay for it. And that's all I really want. I think that like us like trying to get, and I think maybe it's a bit of a defeatist attitude in regards to like changing the way that people think. I don't feel like we can. I genuinely don't. And maybe that's a negative thought to have. But I just feel like if you do something that affects our people, then you have to pay. There has to be accountability. And that's what I want.
You know when you was growing up, yeah? Did your parents ever say to you, you got to work hard, twice as hard because of the color of your skin? Did you ever hear that?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah? Femi, did you ever hear that? Femi probably didn't hear that though.
No, do you know what's funny is that my mom never said it in those words, but my mom said, you know, alluded to the fact that, you know, you're black, you're going out there as a black man. Do you know what? To be fair, yeah, should I tell you guys, like, should I be real? Like, my mom more spoke about it from like what immigrant perspective, like we're from Africa or from Nigeria, we migrated here, so we're gonna be treated a certain way because we migrated here. You see Africans, yeah, you see old school Africans, they properly like don't engage with the race thing properly.
No, when I'm saying this is because I was listening to someone the other day and they were talking about this and they were saying it's not really. It was actually a teacher, and she was saying that is a thing that a lot of black people. I remember my mum saying it to all the time. Like when it was serious, she's like, "Lee, you're gonna have to work twice as hard because of the color of your skin." But is it an added pressure that doesn't need to be there because you shouldn't be comparing yourself to that? And this is what the teacher was saying. She's saying that parents shouldn't be teaching their kids that. because you should show your kids it's a level playing field.
No, but it's not.
Instead of putting the fear, instead of
though.
putting the fear in, they were saying instead of putting the fear in of that you've got to work twice as hard, that could overstress someone as young to hear that kind of thing.
They also need to they like your little Damon, yeah, might look at Johnny and be like, okay, if it's a level playing field, then how come Johnny is getting X, Y, and Z and I'm not?
Yeah, but what about if you say, forget what Johnny's getting, focus on what you're doing?
Nah, the reason I disagree with that, yeah, is because what that shows from an early age is I'm letting my child know the system is not fair, and the system is designed to not let you win. Do you understand? So if you
go on.
If you want 2 apples, you're gonna have to put in twice as much work to get those 2 apples.
Yeah, but say they give up then. Say you have a deep thinking child that's what's the point then? What's the point?
No, that's down to me. That's down to me, and that's down to what I'm gonna instill in my child, and what Aisha's gonna instill, and what all of you lot are gonna collectively instill. Do you know what I mean? There's no giving up.
It's not. I'm not saying that you can install these things into kids, yeah. But sometimes, you know, you could do all. I know so many people that put their kids in private school, and do all of that, and they just don't want it. They're not like that. They're not on it like that.
No, that's differently. But I'll be honest. I've never said that to I've not said that to my kids yet. But I imagine I'm gonna have to eventually say it to my kids, right? Because even like, you know, one of my kids, I'm always talking to him like, you know, like and he's like, oh, I don't know why the teacher always says this to me. I say, listen, but I don't say that he's because he's black. I'm like, you're big, you're loud, you've got presence. And so they're always going to look at you because like you're the biggest kid in your class and blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure the fact that he's black has to do with it. But I'll be honest, maybe it's a mistake that I'm going to pay for later on. I don't really go on, like they're still young, my kids are in primary school, but I don't bang on to them about, oh, you're black, so this, you're black, so that. I don't think
we should tell our kids that anymore, though.
I don't, you know, Damon, I'll be honest, I don't. I just say to my kids, you know what, like, you just have to be great. You can do anything.
And that was the point that the teacher was saying. She was saying the same thing you're saying. It's like, that is something that we practiced back in the day. It doesn't work. It's, you just kind of instill, like you said, Femi, you tell your kids, don't tell them about what's against them. Or their color is going to be a hindrance. You kind of just install, you know what, that's what you want. This is what you focus. It's about your focus. Don't worry about that. People are not going to like you, not because it's because they don't like themselves. If someone don't like you and they haven't got a reason, it's because they don't like themselves clearly, innit?
Bro, my job as a parent is to show I see one of my jobs as a parent is to show my kids there's no limits.
Mm-hmm.
Like to create a world where they see no limits. Obviously, I'm not saying they're not going to experience racism. When that does happen, like, and they're prepared for it. So, like, I'm showing them there's no limits, but at the same time, I've bought the children version of Black and British for my son to read, so he knows. And my sons know about all the civil rights leaders, and my sons know about, like, you know, South Africa, because my son's family, they're from South Africa as well. So when they were in South Africa, they were talking about Rhodesia. And like they were asking about Cecil Rhodes, and their mom just told them about Cecil Rhodes, who was like, you know, who did like evil things in Southern Africa. And so like and Zimbabwe used to be called Rhodesia after this man who basically killed loads of Southern South Africans, like, you know, in Zimbabwe, South Africa, and so on and so forth. And so like for ultimately, I don't pretend to my kids that these things have not happened, but I don't use it as a way to limit their expectations of what they can attain in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, it's not about, you know, the whole point of telling them they've got to work twice as hard, you know, isn't to kind of limit them or let them know that you can only expect to achieve a certain level. But for me, more so, you know, especially with Kasela Victor, the more that I look at him, the more I just think, you're brilliant, you're amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like to have your skin color, people pay lots and lots of money to go and just lay in the sun to get close to your skin color. Understand your brilliance. Like there's no limits. There's no limits. And but he needs to be aware that people will try and hold him back because of his skin color. So because of this, do what you're doing, but make sure laugh, joke, play, ramp, do all of that. But you see, when tasks have been set for you, don't worry that Johnny hasn't done it. Make sure you've done it. And don't ever sit there and say, oh, well, because Johnny didn't do it, so I should be all right. No. Forget all of that. Do what you need to do and what the tasks that have been set for you to do. Do you know what I mean? Focus on that. You know, and I think it has to be done. You know, I can't let my son walk into school, maybe not even nursery, but school, college, university, the big wide world, without arming him with the knowledge that it's not fair and people will try and tear you down. I can't do that for him. I can't do that for him. No way.
But the thing is, life is not fair, yeah, and people will try to tear you down. But do you know what? There's a certain conditioning that we need to be conscious of as Black people, that we're not conditioning our children in ideas steeped in victimhood.
Yeah, but look, you see what you're saying.
Like, did you get what I'm saying? No, it's Damon, it's a fine balance, and I'm not even saying that I'm doing it right.
No, I hear you, but this is the thing. I said this exact same thing a couple months ago when it came to daughters. Yeah, I said the exact same thing. I said, why waste your time and energy on the negative? Yeah, why focus on the negative? Don't get pregnant. Don't do this. Don't do that. And all you man was laughing like I'm just chatting foolishness. And I'm saying, listen, let's focus on the positive. Be brilliant, because if you be brilliant, you won't have time for the man that are talking about house party. If your focus is on brilliance and your focus is on achieving that, you won't be talking about, I'm going to hang out at the chicken shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know when we was growing up and we all had a child near us that could say our alphabet backwards. And man would look at him like, fam, what? You think I got time to learn the alphabet backwards? You're wasting your time. We all had a kid around like that. And we're all like, fam, you're learning the alphabet backwards. Your parents are strict. Fam, your brain has no boundaries. Push your brain. Learn the alphabet backwards. Why not? Why not? What else are you going to do? Sit on the computer? Nah. So for me, yeah, I hear you. For me, it's on one hand, it's pushing them to be brilliant and focusing on be brilliant, be excellent, be all you can be and more. There's nothing that can enter your head that you cannot achieve. And yes, we have to push that, but we still have to let them know, listen, it's not a fair world. And even at the beginning of this conversation, I thought to myself, if you living back in Nigeria, Femi, would this even be a question for you?
No, because it's not about. This is the thing, right? You see, in the West, it's about race, elitism, gender, all these issues come into play, right? Sexuality and so on and so forth. So it's a cocktail of different things that you're fighting against as a Black person, potentially, right? In Africa, race is not one of the part. It's not in the cocktail. It's about privilege. It's about status. It's about class. It's about connections. It's about nepotism and all of. There's no access. You don't have access, right? So it's about access to education, access to jobs, and it's about the relationships, your family name, and so on and so forth. And so it's more of a hierarchical system. So I just think for me, it's a completely different thing. I went on a podcast over there and I was talking to these boys and they were asking me about how it was coming from Nigeria to here, blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to them. I was like, I didn't even know what it meant to be Black. Generally, as a 10-year-old, see my son, he's going to be 10, my oldest son this year. He knows what it means to be a Black person, right? He understands it. I didn't know that when I was 10. I moved to England when I was 10 years old, yeah? I knew I was Black, don't get me wrong, but I didn't know, along with being black, meant that you were expected, you had all these negative stereotypes attached to who you were.
Mm.
Does that make sense? It might be hard for you, man, to think, to imagine.
I get it.
Because
I get it. And the thing is, and I know what you mean, because at a certain age, I was very aware that police looked at me differently than looked at somebody else differently. I was very aware that when I walked into a shop, I would be getting followed over that person, you know, and this is the thing that, you know, I can't remember who brought it to light, but it was like the stresses that black people have when they wake up in the morning, the things that they have to consider just on a daily basis. Can I sit next to that woman on the train? Can I sit next to that woman on the bus? You know, when I walk into the shop, you know how many times man walked into a shop and has bought something that they didn't want, so it doesn't look like they went into the shop to steal something? Do you know how mad that is? Whether it's a sweet shop or whatever. That's wild, bro.
Do you think for me, yeah, like one of the liberating factors for black people and that what we've embraced is technology has liberated us. It meant if I go into that corner shop here and I'm not feeling it, I can go into Sainsbury's local where they've got cameras to see whether I'm gonna teeth or not, and the man's not gonna follow me around Sainsbury's local again. Although those African uncles do.
He's still following me, cuz, but I hear you.
No, but do you get what I'm saying? So like, there's ways around it now. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like back in the day.
But that's my point, though. That's still a consideration. That's still a thought that a certain demographic of people, a certain type of people, do not even consider. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know? Can you imagine if we added up every single time we had to make a decision based on the color of our own skin?
No, D, being black in the West is very traumatic. It's trauma.
Absolutely.
No, it's very like, you know, like even like on a low level, there's different levels of trauma, but it's a very traumatic experience. The minute you leave your house, it's potentially so traumatic.
Do you know how man has to get himself to a certain level to go and pay for the petrol? Man has to get himself to a certain level mentally to walk into Zara, Diesel, just the shopping center. Man has to get himself mentally to a certain level. Fam, you're absolutely right.
It is traumatic, but you know what, D? Like, I'll be honest. I'm aware of racism. I study it. I study race. And I've got tons of books here that I read, and like, you know, I give my kids have access to like children versions of them and so on and so forth. But for me, like the main important thing is I am not going to let racist white people cap the way I perceive myself.
Yeah, of course.
But it's hard. It's hard, but that's the fine balance that we need to do with our children as well. It's like, you know, because that what struck me, what I talk to my missus about all the time, is that I go to my children's school. The kids are diverse. It's like, you know, Nia came on and she was talking about how diverse our school is, right? But I wanted to ask her, but I didn't want to go in, I didn't want to grill her. Is that, do you know, yeah, like those schools, the teachers are all majority white. My children's school, I go into my children's school, right? Most of the teachers are white, right? And some of them have no idea of the cultural context that a lot of these children are coming from. And in a way that affects their education. My missus, I think, no, it wasn't even my missus. I forgot it was. I think someone that I knew that was a teacher the other day tells me some kids, right, got a new teacher in there. No, it was a tweet. I saw a tweet. Like this guy goes, oh, you know, I just started work at a new school, and the kids saw me and they were like, finally, we've got a black teacher. Because actually, some of the systems that are still in place is that they create difficulties for the kids. And so if we're sending our kids into those situations, we need to be aware that some of these teachers might be biased. You look at the GCSE this year, the teachers are deciding a grade, you know.
Sorry.
You know what's mad?
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, you know what's mad? Yeah, you saying that when I went to school, yeah, you know the black teachers that I had, yeah, blood, they were like family, yeah. It was so stressful, blood. I think it was more pressure, blood. I swear, down, it was so pressure. If you see my maths teacher, yeah, he was a legend, bruv. But bruv, I felt like he wanted me to do the most, and I was like, sir, you know, I'm not that smart, you know. I don't know what you heard. I don't know who told you anything, but I'm struggling. He used to always call me out on everything. I'm like, wow, this man not giving me no break, bro.
Wants to do
This man,
well.
but he saw me as his son. Do you get what I'm saying? But he swept me so hard, I nearly failed.
Sorry,
He would never have let me
what I was
down.
gonna say, yeah, is Femi, in that situation where you said, because you said you don't teach your sons that they have to work that twice as hard. Would you tell them to call it out if they felt like they were being forced to jump through hoops that other people weren't?
Yeah, but my sons like know about race. I told you guys about the time the kid at the tennis club.
I know, but then when does that fall into what you was talking about us falling into the victimhood thing?
No, because I don't know. It's a thin line. But for me, I know that the way I'm bringing up my children, I'm bringing them up to be excellent at whatever they do. I'm exposing my children to lots of like literature about everything, right? To do with the world, to do with their history as Nigerians, as South Africans, as British kids, right? And they're getting a full experience through myself, through stories. And I don't lie to my kids. So if they ask me something, they ask about George Floyd, we tell them, you know, that radio show that you did with Shawnee B, they listened to it. They were in a car. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like I pretend to my kids that, oh, racism is not a real thing. Like, but then, like, you know, I look at my life and I could say, oh, I didn't get this because I was black. I don't do that. I don't do that in my life because I can't control racist white people. I can control what I do. And my thing is, no, I need to empower my sons to be able to go into the world, to be able to be the greatest version of them and to do the best that they can in whatever situation they can do. Like my main thing, what I strongly live by is that I can't control other people's actions. I can't control other people's perception of me. But what I can do is make sure that wherever I go, I carry excellence. However, if you try my sons and you're racist to my sons, I will try to fight you and my wife will write letters.
But can I say, can I say that on all of that it's great, and I stand by a lot of that stuff. But you know that like in systematic racism, yeah, you can be excellent and it still means you won't get to the top.
Yeah, but
you can be the absolute best.
Ace, but if
definitely.
But the point is, like, you can be the best at whatever you do, yeah?
No, but
you can be the best, the absolute best, and they can still hold you down, bro. They can still hold you down.
My point is, if I tell my kids that, right, that doesn't get them. If they work twice as hard, it doesn't get them. It doesn't help. So why am I depressed? Why am I oppressing them with that information?
It's not a valid thing to talk about.
Why am I oppressing my?
Yeah, put that there. It don't make no sense.
Lee, why am I oppressing my kids? Yeah, with the fact that they could be the best radio presenter in the world, but still they might not get a job on Radio 1. They might not get to present the Radio 1 breakfast show.
Ace, I'm with you, and this is where we as parents get involved. Beyond words, yeah, because I agree with what Ace is saying fully, and I hear what you two are saying. You know what the difference is? Ace, you're at that point, and I'm just using you as an example. No, forget it. Back to the example at the beginning of the show. At the beginning of the show, yeah, there's 4 of us on the screen right now. Femi laid it out clear as day. Lee, fuck it, I will finance your live show. There's enough of us about to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, my son, this is what you want to be in life, and you are unable to get there because racist white people are holding you down. You know what? We've got another angle. We've got another path. We don't have to go to Radio 1 Extra Park. We don't have to go to Capital Park. We don't have to go to the Channel 4 Park. And that's my point. So you're still going to know about it, but it's not going to hold you back from being who you need to be. Is for us and this generation right now to make sure that you don't have the stresses that we had. and provisions are being put in place. So when you do turn around and say, this is what I want to be, we're going to get you there. And we're going to make you the most powerful and the most successful of what you want to be. And that you don't have to go through the bullshit and have to rely on somebody who doesn't like you because of the color of your skin to keep you here.
You know what? You know what? I spoke about this a couple of months ago. I don't think you remember. You remember when I said about I was watching a program on BBC and it was talking about basically this cleaner, and she always wished that her son could work in the city in Canary Wharf in one of these big companies. One who worked for these big companies. Basically, her son got the qualifications. He went to university, got top grades and average university. But then the study went on to say basically, what happens is the black guy was in the scenario of applying for the job. So you got the CEO there. The black guy excelled at most of the stuff in the experiment. They put the black guy, it was an Asian, there was white people. So it was but what it led down to, the analyst said, is that's fine, they can excel. But what happens is that CEO can't sit down and look at that person as their child. And that is probably why they will never be incorporated into the business on a high level. They'll be high, they can get to a high level, but they will not be at that top of that business because the CEO, what they couldn't do is sit down and have a general chit chat. Meaning, like, imagine you go for work drinks. There would have been a stiff conversation. There's no conversation. So the CEO couldn't build up trust in that guy to be like, yeah, join, this is the business that you should be in. Do you get what I mean?
And that's why I believe, Lee, for me, that's why I'm a strong believer and a strong preacher in having black leaders.
100%.
Businesses. So
that
like
is the way
at
forward.
The BBC having black leaders.
But see, Femi, and I'm with you, and this is kind of, that's my point, because right now, yeah, I've got a guy who's got his own hedge fund companies and finance companies, this and that and that. We've got a guy that's got his own lawyer firm. We've got Cheryl, who's a barrister. We've got Dean, who, you understand what I'm saying? We've got Ace, who could potentially go on and have his own radio station. We've got you, Femi, who's got your own film company. Do you understand what I'm saying? So 10, 15, 20 years ago, yes, we had to rely on these people that couldn't relate to us and couldn't understand us, that were like, nah, you don't really make it, rude boy. We're on this pub thing and you are on this pub thing, or whatever it is, the cultural differences, we joke about them, but they are real. You understand? Now it's different and it's getting better and better. We had a 15-year-old girl on the show who's written a book. What, 10 years ago? 20 years ago? She's going to be the inspiration for her generation to be like, yo, and it's exactly what you said, Ace. How do you go from having an idea to putting it down? And it's with the love and the dedication of her dad and her mum and her uncles and aunts and everybody else that looks like her, that struggled before her, that's like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure this happens. And we are that full right now, and the listeners and that are in our chat group right now, bruv, it's 6 degrees of separation. Yes, we have to teach our children to be great and amazing and dream. There's no cap on your dreams. Be who you want to be. But we just have to make sure that we're in a position that we can help them get them there.
No, but I just think our job is to equip them, to inform them about the fact that there's racism in the world, but not to inform them that if you work twice as hard, you will overcome that racism, because you won't.
Whatever the way it is, you know what I mean?
Because you won't. You just won't.
Yeah. It's flawed, isn't it?
Your house is your house, my house is my house.
No,
it's a debate on everyone's different age. You know what I'm saying? Some people agree.
Like I've said several times in this conversation, I'm sure, like, I'm just making it up as I go along. I don't know if it's right or not. Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
I don't know. But I'm very conscious that, I don't that we've been talking about this for time and that we should like wrap up.
We need to get the latest with Lee, because you didn't even tell us the latest.
No, there's two things that I want to mention before we get the latest with Lee. number one, there was a lady called Sasha Johnson. She was one of the Black Lives Matter activists. She was shot in the head in the garden of a property, and they still don't know why. There were some men there were 4 men, all black, went into the garden, and she's in critical condition in hospital, and we send prayers up to her and her family, and hopefully she recovers soon. But there's not that much information about why.
There's very little. There's very little, which is a bit shocking.
Weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit mad.
But
yeah.
Bless up to her and her family. But and also someone on our Twitter account said, please, I beg, do a one-off special just with Little Man and his parents.
Why, you really don't want to see it for real though?
I think it'll be lit. I think Ace should just host it, and like me and Damon should watch, and it should just be Lee and his 2 parents. It might be fun.
What?
I got bare questions. Can I like ask your dad questions? I got
what? It's my dad's birthday today, you know.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Daddy Lee.
Pops'
No,
birthday today, boy.
We should get him on.
I phoned him, he forgot.
It's his birthday.
He forgot, boy. He's like, is it? He's like, right.
He forgot it's his own birthday.
He's not really one of them man there, you know. I'm going to go around there on the weekend and bring him a cake and that. He's going to hate it. He's going to hate it. He don't do all of that, man. He's a proper yard man, you know.
Just bring him a bottle. Just bring him a bottle of Dragon Stout or something and a pre-rolled cigarette.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him these herbs.
How's Auntie Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So last we heard on our WhatsApp group is that Lee was possibly being apprehended.
I was about to get arrested today.
/ the police because he was looking suspicious.
Boy.
Fill us in.
So I got a phone call because you know what, I haven't seen it for a couple of weeks, innit? So I thought, you know what, and I'm always ready. Even now, like I know there's a possibility. But you know what? Something happened, you know. Remember when I first saw her? Do you remember what I told you? She was with a guy and he was disabled.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this, Femi, yeah? And I'm saying this to you, Femi, because now, you know, today, for the first time, she told me that's her son.
Really?
And I'm thinking, did she not tell me because she was embarrassed or she thought I was going to judge her? Do you get what I'm saying? It's weird that I'm saying that, but I got the sense that she felt embarrassed. She told me basically he was starved of oxygen as a baby and he was autistic. And then basically they kept pumping him with drugs as like and it just made him worse and worse. But I was thinking, because I said, where's the guy that you was with, your friend? Because she said that she introduced me as a friend that she was looking after when I first met him. Do you get what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, but I knew something was up because you know when you see a carer, sometimes they're a little bit rough. And when I say a little bit rough, it's because they're a carer. They're used to they know the level. If I was a carer, for example, right now, walking into it at the beginning, I'm going to be extra helpful because I'm thinking that, but after a while, maybe I'll just start getting a bit more rugged, maybe a little bit jokey. I'm not going to take the mick, obviously, but you know, she was always soft with him. And I was thinking, right. And I know how hard she can be as a woman. Do you know what I mean? Because she was hard with me. Anyway, and she told me that was her son today. So I thought right, that was a bit, and that was just as I was leaving her. But so today when I picked her up, she gave me a phone call yesterday and she said, right, I saw the number come up and I was like, ching, ching, I'm back, baby. It's been a slow week. I need this right now. So she phoned me and she was like, yeah, I need you tomorrow and to go and see my solicitor. I said, listen, don't you worry about that. She's moved address. She's living in a next high price residential. Wow. So I knew the money must be going up. Do you get what I'm saying? And I get the sense just today that she missed me. You know, like
wow,
I don't know. She was just a bit. To be honest with you, I got there at 10 in the morning. She didn't come down to 11. You know, she's mugging me off. The killer thing is, I went into the reception, yeah, and there was a lady there. And I said, is by any chance today night? I don't know her name, innit? I was like, there's a lady, Nigerian lady that's staying here. And the woman just big breath, like, oh, and I was like, "Rah, she's hard work, yeah." And the woman, you don't even want to know. And I knew it. I was like, "Don't worry, man. You just got to keep her sweet." And she's like, "No one can keep her sweet. Nobody." Anyway, they phoned her up, and then she phoned me back because I gave her about 10 missed calls. She said, "Oh, I'm coming down in a minute." She's got the best excuses. Her excuses, like, she's got an excuse for everything. Anyway, I took her on a little run-ins today. Went up to Ilford. Then we went down there, and she said she wants to go West End, innit? So I'll get to West End. She goes, she wants to go Lloyd's Bank on West End. I don't know why all the way to West End though, but it is what it is. We're going to Lloyd's Bank, and I park up at 2:30. 4:30, I'm sweating. I'm thinking, where's this woman? Where's this woman? Because remember, I've dropped her off on Oxford Street. It's not like I could just jam there. I need to move and hit the back roads. So I'm thinking, in my head, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking, nah, she's done the runner. I've got Nando's. I popped into a few shops. I'm thinking, right, no missed calls, no nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, I thought, right, I'm going to go to the bank. Long shot. This is after I sent you the voice note that I think she's done a runner. Or I sent you a message, didn't I? So I've gone to the bank, yeah? And I look through the window. I'm peering through the window like this. And this is purely out of frustration. So I'm peering through the window and I can see her. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. So I'll just wait outside. So I'm waiting now. And so every 3-4 minutes, I'm turning around and I'm looking in. She's going from the cashier over there to the clerk over here to the clerk. You know how banks are set up now? There's like 5 desks.
Yeah.
Then you got the long thing. You got that. She's at every single station at some point. So I'm jamming there. And then all of a sudden, about 4 clerks come out of the bank and they're like, "Are you all right?" So now I remember I've got the face mask on. You know what I mean? I'm standing there, I'm like, "What's the problem?" "Oh, no, we were just noticing, are you meant to be here?" So then I was thinking, oh shit. They think I'm out here trying to do movements. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm now trying to get my badge out and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm the woman's driver." Rare. And they were like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Go and ask her." "What do you mean I'm sure? Go ask her." You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I left her. When she come out,
Lee, did you just call yourself a driver? Yeah.
I just said, yeah. I called it. I said it because you know what? I thought I had to be small in this situation because if I said anything else, I thought I was going to get into trouble. So I wanted to make her feel.
She's paying you. Why are you sweating her, bro? Just let her stay wherever she's. Like, if she's paying you for the time, why are you sweating her, bro?
Do you know what, Ace? When she comes out of that bank, where's she going?
What do you mean? Where's she going?
Where can she go? Because my cab's on the back road. So where's she going? This woman will just put her hand out and get another cab, you know.
Oh, so you wanted to make sure she got
money.
Your car. Oh, okay, see.
The bill was big money at this stage, you know. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I don't want to go back to her yard.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you get what I'm saying? Looking for my readies because
she wouldn't have done that to you.
Well, this is the thing. She wouldn't have, but you know, sometimes because like I said, one day, like Mary Poppins, she's just gonna disappear, you know. And I got a feeling she's winding me up for the big one. She's gonna wind me up, like say, she'll just say, "Oh look, instead of me paying you daily, why don't I just give you £2,000 on Friday?" And I'll be me like an idiot. I'll be like, "That sounds like a good deal, isn't it?" Friday comes, I don't never see this woman again. And when I ask at the front desk who she is, they say, "There's no woman that's ever lived here looks like this woman." Do you get what I'm saying?
That would happen.
No, but that was the thing. But you know what she said to me when she came out the bank? She goes, "Good, I'm following her around now." I'm like, "Yeah, no, where you going now?" She goes, "I need to go Boots." So I'm following her around. Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, it's good for you you're following me because if you're not following me, I would have wandered down West End. I want to go shopping now." Like what? And what you wouldn't have told me. You get what I'm saying? You can't disappear from someone for 2 hours. Listen, if I leave you in your whip for 5 minutes, I'm gonna phone you in it. Ain't it right? You don't leave someone for 2 hours. Like after what, would you not think that she disappeared? No.
The money was good though.
She's paying you though.
She is paying. To be honest with you, she is paying me, but it's not the point though. Like, at least let me know where you are.
How does this work? Yeah. So is your taxi on all this time?
So what it is what I do is I don't turn on the meter until she gets in, and I think she respects that because by right I'm allowed. When she says she wants me in my time, I could turn it on from the time she calls me.
So how did you charge her for the 2 hours then?
So what I do is I do my, because she's a little ginnels, isn't it? She thinks she's sweet. She thinks she can sweet talk me. So what I do is I let the bill get all fat off, and then I'll knock off like 50 quid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to charge. I can't charge.
No, but what I'm saying, can your meter still keep going whilst your engine's off?
Yeah, it will still tick. It will tick slowly. So it ticks time over distance. Yeah, but if your stop stands still, it ticks very slowly.
Okay.
Very slowly, to a point where you don't really make no money just sitting there. You make in the 2 hours that I was sitting there, it probably went, hey, 20 quid in 2 hours.
For 2 hours?
That's nothing though.
That's nothing.
But what do you get what I'm saying? But if I'm moving, it's ticking. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's but like I said, we're doing shuttles. We're doing shuttles. We're here, there. This woman don't stop, you know. This woman's got, I don't know, her coin is nice because she does, what she does, this is how I know. She goes from one shop to the next one, to the next one. I'm like, where you going? She walked into Ann Summers. I said, you know where you're going? She goes, I thought it was Boots. She goes, see, it's a good thing you're here because I would have gone in there and I would have looked for something I don't need.
But she knows why she was going in there. You just spot her thing, fam.
No, Ace.
No, you did. She knows why she
was meant to be going into Boots. Boots was next door and she wandered in. She's away with the fairy some of the time, you know. But she's looking for coffee, yeah? So the first thing we did, she goes, before I go to this appointment. No, she said, this is what she said to me. She goes, I'm late. I know I'm late. So when I'm late, I just think, I'm so embarrassed already. I might as well be more late. That's her logic. That's what she said to me. So I said, your appointment is at 12:30 and now it's 1:45. You're thinking, I'm just going to take the piss a little bit more. That's how she thinks.
Yeah,
that's how she's telling me.
That mentality, man. It's
she's like, I'm already embarrassed. She goes, I'm already embarrassed, so I might as well be more late.
I want to meet her so badly.
You know what? I think I'm nearly there. I want to bring her on the show, man. But she won't be able to set up this thing. She gets stressed as well. Huh?
It's a must. We need to meet her.
Bring
her to the chat party. Man.
Can you imagine? Well, I'm picking up tomorrow, 5:00. I recorded me and her in Boots, yeah? But the sound's so shit, I didn't send it to you lot. I'm holding my phone like this while I'm talking to her, like I'm pretending. But the screen is facing me, so she doesn't think. But I'll try and send it to you lot afterwards. So I'm telling you, the woman's nang. The woman is nang.
Listen, imagine she listens to the podcast.
Oh, I wish she did. She's not interested. I'm being honest with you. She don't know my name. She don't know what. She doesn't know anything. She just thinks I think she just thinks I'm a poor boy. She keeps asking me why I have babies yet. Why have you not had babies? You are a big man. You are 36. In Nigeria, you would be married. Oh, no. You'd be married. You have big family. I'm like, yeah, thanks.
You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure she knows all that she needs to know about you. She knows your name. She knows your mom's maiden name. She knows
probably.
Listen.
Probably. She fell asleep. She fell asleep in the cab today. I was going to record her then, and then I thought, I might take it to piss stop recording her sleeping. Because I took her from one place, like from Ilford to the bank in Oxford Street. Like she was conked. And then I'm talking to her. I'm like, Auntie, get up. And she's like, oh, this sleep you're giving me now. Look now. She's doing this. And she's falling back asleep again. I'm like, man, I swear that I think someone's recording me on the slide, man. Honestly, she's a legend.
She's like steeping you in like, she's giving you a crash course in Nigerian auntie.
I'm telling you, bro. I was kind of prepared in it, but when I'm in it, it's a love-hate relationship.
Fam,
it's a love-hate relationship.
Nigerian aunties are raggo.
She can abuse you and be nice in the same sentence.
Bro, welcome to my life, man. This is my mom. This is all my aunties. This is my whole life.
That's why you lot should be thick-skinned, man, because I don't know where I am emotionally with her.
But we are. You know, like you're arguing with your mum, you just don't know whether you hate your mum. You know?
Bro, you know what she started doing? She's using me as a secretary today. She's like, hey, she phone this number and give them this email and tell them because they don't understand what I'm saying. I said, you speak like the Queen. She said, oh, you think I speak like the Queen? I said, yeah. See, I gassed her a little bit like that. But then she said, okay, now do it. Now do it quickly. What do you mean do it? Who are you talking to? My girl can't tell me them things that you think you're talking to.
You still did it, didn't it?
I still did it, though.
Phone
the estate agent for her.
We've been going 2 hours now.
2 hours, boy.
We will be back next. Is there anything else that we got to say before we get out?
Yeah, I want you to say, rate, subscribe, comment. Make sure we've got 2.5k followers on YouTube now. Thanks, guys. Now we need to get it up to 3k. Yeah, it's gone up to 2.51.
We're on the road to 3k.
Buy the book. Buy the book.
3k.
Support the cause. Buy the
Just
book,
do a
buy the
2
book.
hours.
So what you not saying next week you're coming here?
Not in it. We'll arrange it.
It depends. It depends if the airport's open. You live far, blood.
I don't live that far. Ain't it? It's bank holiday weekend this weekend coming up, isn't it?
Yeah. Where you playing, Ace?
Where you raving? I'm not playing anywhere. Where you raving, Lee? I want to go where Lee's going because
I'm about. I'll be about. Shout me,
Yeah.
innit?
Cool.
Yeah, man, I'm about. Sunday night.
We will have details on a Cut the Chat event happening very, very soon. I'm reckon.
Very soon.
We saying June, July is coming. Don't worry, it's gonna be a nice little shoe beans. But you have to be vaccinated to come in. I'm only joking. True. I was only joking. All right, till next week. Rate, subscribe, comment. We love you guys. Thank you very much to Nia. Go buy the book. And we are out.
Let's up.